Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you for hitting on this video. Just wanted to say, if you enjoy football content, all types, hit the like and subscribe button. I think it's over here, actually. Yeah, over here. Hit the like and subscribe button. We're going to be following the Bomber season all year. We following NFL, CFL, all of it. So, yeah, come and hang out, and we'll talk a little bit more football. Peace. What is up, Rum Hut Nation? I'm your boy Nick, aka Rum Hut, and just coming on here and making my first YouTube video. Well, I made one before and it was horrible, so let's try again. Bomber season, CFL season, football is fast approaching, and you know what? There's not enough Bombers, there's not enough CFL content on this website, so I wanted to come on here and just, basically voice my opinion and kind of just talk a little bit about the CFL and the Bombers in general. I'm probably going to come on and talk a little bit about NFL as well in the future. Just a big football fan in general, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are too. So let's have a little bit of fun and talk a little bit about this upcoming season. And today, recording this in the morning, getting this out just before the game, Bombers in Regina taking on the evil Rough Riders. Should be a pretty straightforward game for the Riders. I think they'll probably win this one, just based on who's going to be playing for the Bombers today. That doesn't mean we can't be excited, though. I don't think that the Bombers are going to be starting really any of their starters, aside from maybe a couple of the offensive linemen, a couple guys on defense, guys that are fighting for positions. But we did hear that Zach is not going to be playing. That, I think, is a really good move by the Bombers. We don't need to see Zach out there, Zach being Zach Collaros, starting this game or playing in this game at all, actually. We will see, though, the GOAT, Chris Streveler, who's coming back from his long-awaited return from the NFL. Chris Streveler will be very, very interesting to watch, to see. Sometimes guys, once they come back from the NFL, have progressed. He's obviously trained a bit with some pretty excellent quarterbacks. So I'm expecting some a little bit better passing from Zach, from Chris. And maybe just a better understanding of the offense and the CFL in general, because he's had a lot of time to prepare for this, and obviously reading defenses. He's learned from guys like Aaron Rodgers and all the guys that he's really been with in the NFL. So super exciting. Staying on the quarterback train, there's two guys that the Bombers we should see today. That being Terry Wilson and Eric Barriere. So both of those guys, very, very interesting, because I think they're going to be very similar style quarterbacks to Chris. Both are kind of running quarterbacks. Both have really good legs. Terry Wilson's a little bit more of a pocket passer compared to Eric Barriere, and Terry Wilson has kind of the more prototypical 6'3", 207 size. And he's got quite a cannon of an arm. It says here he played for New Mexico, but I think he was also with Kentucky. I want to say Kentucky is where he was playing. And he has a bit of a cannon for an arm. So very, very interesting to see if he can pick up the offense and let that translate, let the skill translate, and run the ball a bit and throw it a bit. Same with Eric Barriere. This guy is an incredible athlete. He's a running back or receiver playing quarterback. That's basically what he is. I think he can throw the ball quite well. I don't think he's going to be a guy who's going to stand back in the pocket and just pick you apart, but I could be wrong. I think I see him as a replacement for Dakota Prukop. That he's probably the fastest quarterback I've ever seen on the field. It's just incredible. The kind of the speed that he has. So that'll be really fun to watch today. Those are the kind of the main things that I'm watching today. Obviously, to see what the quarterbacks look like. Zach won't be around forever, so need to be a plan going forward once Zach has, basically moved on from the CFL, because he's already, I think, 35. Maybe eventually he's not here anymore. So very interesting to see if there's a scheme change. They're trying to go for more running quarterbacks in the future, or if they're just basically in the win now and they want to get a guy who can play a couple packages and then, going forward they'll find a guy who's just a pocket passer. So moving on from quarterbacks, let's get into wide receiver. Wide receiver is another interesting one because they've got a million receivers here. There's a couple that I'm really high on here. The one that I'm the highest on is going to be sorry, can't speak. The guy that I'm highest on today at this camp so far, and I admittedly haven't been to the camp, but I've watched tape and kind of done a little bit of research before I made this video. Cody Case. He is my favorite player at the camp. I don't know how he looks right now. I haven't seen him in camp. I haven't even actually read anything about him from camp. But just watching his, I guess, highlight tape, that's pretty much it. A couple things stood out. You look at the quarterback and he looks familiar, and that actually is Chris Streveler. So Chris Streveler was, I guess, one of the quarterbacks he played with in college. So I think that there's a pretty good reason why he's here, and that would probably just be because Chris Streveler likes him. Like he said, this guy is amazing. Also, they probably scouted him when they were watching Chris, and they want a lot of his tape and all that, and said, who's this receiver? It's kind of funny because he's like a kind of smaller receiver, 5'10", and he's a white guy. Usually, you've got a white small receiver, you think, this guy looks like, Weston Dressler or Ryan Smith or something like that. To me, this guy actually looks like he's going to be a prototypical slot back. Like he looks like Nick Dembski out there. Maybe a little less like in terms of like running ability, like you couldn't really put him as a running back. He's not quite as big, but just he can stretch the field really well. He goes up for balls and strong hands. He takes hits. He blocks. He's got a hard nose. He's going to be a guy that Mike O'Shea likes. If there's one thing that I'm sure of, it's Cody Case is going to be the breakout this year. I think Cody Case is the Dalton Schoen of this season. So that's one guy from there. Also, Kevin Sclercius, he'll be a guy to watch today. Kevin Sclercius is obviously the second pick, or the first pick for the Bomber, but the second round pick. That'll be a guy I'm going to keep an eye on. Obviously, he's going to be playing for probably in Wolatarski's spot. I don't know if he plays slot back, but yeah, they need some Canadians. And then Aaron Cruikshank. Aaron Cruikshank's going to be essentially Janarian Grant 2.0. They went to the same school, played the same position, both went to Rutgers. So I think that he's penciled in right now as probably the starting kick returner. Flipping over to the defensive side of the, or actually, you know what? Before we go to defense, the offensive line, there was something really, really interesting that I saw happen this offseason, and I don't know if really people picked up on it. So we lost, obviously, Jamarcus Hardrick to the Riders. So I really hope we actually see Jamarcus today. It'll be really interesting. See how he looks this year. He was, I thought, and I'm a huge Hardrick fan. I love the guy. I think he's an excellent player, or he was an excellent player. He had a really tough season last year, and I think that he was very bad in the Grey Cup. It was just, I think he was getting beat a lot. But they went out and picked up a guy named Eric Lofton. Eric Lofton was a right tackle from the Riders. So they basically traded 1-for-1, offensive tackles with the Riders, which is really, really interesting. And we're obviously paying him a fraction of what was expected to be paid from Hardrick. So if he can come in and be, serviceable and near the same level that Hardrick was, or even, since Hardrick's kind of on the downturn, maybe he's an upgrade. What a 400 IQ play. And you know what? This is just so crazy to me, because there's one other thing that's not seen with this. When you look at his transcript of how many games he's played, it was 15 games started with the Riders last year, and then look at what happened the year before in 2022. 1 game started with the Bombers. So the Bombers know who he is. They know how good he is. They know what he can do. And now he's got that game experience under his belt. Ladies and gentlemen, that is why Kyle Walters is the greatest of all time GMs. You may hate that you lost Herdrick, but I think that they may have gotten a replacement for cheaper and something that could work out in the long term. So that's one thing that I'm interested in there. Obviously, there's going to be some changes. I think Neufeld might be out a little bit of time, so we're going to see a lot of Tuieli and a couple other, maybe we might see Gabe Wallace, who's kind of the rookie that was drafted this year. On the defensive side of the ball, it's not as interesting. I think we kind of know what really is who's kind of the starters for the most part. Obviously, on the defense, they like to flip a lot of guys around. There's going to be the defensive line. There's a lot of moving pieces there. Namely, I would say on the a linebacker. Linebacker is an interesting one, because we're going to see Adam Bighill, I would assume, going to be managed his minutes, I would say, or not minutes, not hockey, his snaps, manages snaps this year, even when he is healthy. So 2 guys that I really have my eye on right now are not Adam Bighill, Dylan Moses and Johnny Patrician. So Dylan Moses, he was one of the highest rated recruits that came into Alabama. Obviously Alabama is like the forefront of college football, and if you go to Alabama, you are already a professional quality athlete. So it's a pretty safe bet that if he can regain a bit of his form. He had an injury, ACL injury in his sophomore season, I believe, and he never regained his form, and had a bit of tough time with some pain going through that. So if he can, maybe he fix that and he's feeling a lot more comfortable with his knees, we might have a gem on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. Johnny Patrician, he's another guy I had my eye on. Now that I'm mentioning him, he's probably going to get cut tomorrow, so I only noticed him because he went to Pittsburgh, or Pitt, and I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, so I always love the Pitt guys, and I really hope he looks like an athletic player, and I think he was wearing the green dot in Pitt, so D1 college. Don't know a lot about him, but I think he might be a good guy to keep your eye on today. Other than that, I think I've been going on for long enough. I'm going to try and make some videos, probably once a week going forward, on Bombers, maybe something else. I'll try to make some more videos for. I might even try to do some lives for the if we can get enough people in here for the away games. Obviously, I'm going to be down at the Rum Hut, so if anyone wants to find me down there, talk a little bit of football, come and get a drink. If you watch the game, if you watch the videos, I can give you this one offer. If you come and find me at the Rum Hut, and this is going to be out there, for the first game or first preseason game, if you can find me down at the Realm Hut and you watch my video and you tell me you watched this video, I will buy you a drink. That is my guarantee. I will buy you a drink. And thank you very much for watching, guys. Hit this like and subscribe if you feel like it. If you don't, just put a comment underneath and say, I don't know, say something funny. Say something about my appearance or something. Chirp my glasses or something. I don't know. All I can say is, go Bombers, go. Here we go, Bombers. Here we go. Peace.